Hello, everybody, and welcome to Herd Report. I'm your host, Scott Beck. And today, boys and girls, have I got a great episode for you. Today with me, I have Chris Earl of CK6 Consulting and Bid on Beef. Guys, Chris travels the country each and every single year doing his consulting business where he goes to many bull and female sales. And today we are going to talk about what he sees when he travels the country and some highlights from the sales season. We're also going to touch on Bid on Beef a little bit and have some fun. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. Let's get to it! Hello, everybody, and welcome to Herd Report. Guys, today I got a special episode for you. Today, I am at Musgrave, Angus, but I'm talking to Mr. Chris Earl of CK6 Consulting, guys. We're going to go over his season and what he saw in the bull sale season and what he sees as trends going forward. Chris, I'm absolutely delighted to have you, man. Thanks for joining me today, brother.
We're getting to spend a lot of time today. Great facility here at Musgraves. Just got done doing a podcast. Exciting to do it with Melvin sitting over here. He's turned out to be a great friend, and really appreciate all he's done in cattle business and life and family and all that thing. So just being able to do it here, I appreciate you having me.
Yes, thanks, Melvin. Appreciate you guys letting us do this here, too. So, man, I've been wanting to do this podcast with you for a long time, Chris, to be honest with you. You know, I love what you do. You see a lot of cattle. What are you saying? You did over 40 million in sales?
Yep, we did over 40 million in sales, I think, since January 1 or so. I see a lot.
Yes.
You know, and this business is fluid. As I tell a lot of people, and there's a lot of new people coming in. There's people getting out of the business.
Yes.
There's a lot of pressures out there to meet the market. And, you know, frankly, 59 years old, Scott, I feel like I've never had to work harder, you know, to keep myself and my clients in front of the curve, as they say, the marketing curve of the business.
Absolutely. It's, I don't know how many sales you do. You kind of talked about it. We didn't really know exactly how many sales you hit, but it seems like you are, a man on the road.
I am. I don't know that I could have done this when our kids were younger.
Yeah, right.
I got a great wife, so that's what I tell people. I've got sons that run our ranch in New Mexico. Without that component of having a great wife and sons that run your own ranch, there's no way I could do this.
Yeah.
But at my core, I'm a visual guy.
Mm-hmm.
I have to see the cattle.
I love that.
You know, as much as you see videos, as much as you see pictures, I just struggled to see in density, athleticism, and stuff like that. And then the management by which, you know, I see everybody's genetics in every region of the country.
You are.
So you learn a lot.
From coast to coast,
right.
Honestly.
So you learn a lot, and in order to give good advice, I need that bombardment of the visualization and data and management to give good advice.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's kick it off. What were some of your highlights this year of the bull sale season or the female sale season as well? We kind of talked about that. There's not really a season anymore. It's kind of all the time, but the bull sale season is probably more in the spring. Let's start there. Earlier this year and even a little bit before. Talk about what you saw, like even the trends. See what'd you see in the bull sale season total, and then maybe we'll go to some individuals later. But what'd you see in the bull sale season this year as far as trends and the popularity of stuff?
So I think it was so exciting because as we got kind of into November and December, you could feel it coming.
Yeah.
I think the most exciting thing about the season was it even exceeded what I thought the season could be.
That's cool.
I've told a lot of people, I don't think I've talked to somebody in the last 6 months that didn't want to buy something.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's such a dichotomy of where our business has been, you know, for so many years. And then to see them trust it, do it, and accomplish it, either in a private sale or an auction, it's just exciting. I mean, I've waited for this year I've been in the business 36 years.
Wow.
I waited for this year for 36 years.
Wow.
And it happened. And I think as you go forward, I think it's here to stay.
Yeah.
So, like I've mentioned a lot of times before our sales, we're not here because of all the right reasons. You know, we have a lot of people that have left our way of life. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of pressures out there against a family setting that creates genetics and gets them exposed to the market. I get it. But I'm here to combat that with great people and great cattle.
I love that.
So to see that happen
was cool.
I'll tell you what, and here's what I've seen mostly. take the bottom third of your cattle that if you're at max capacity and you're selling them, right?
Yep.
As culls.
Mm-hmm.
You're selling your bottom end of the bulls, you're selling your opens, you're selling your heifers that just aren't going to make replacements. To watch what you're getting paid for those cattle.
Cool, huh?
And to see how far that money travels.
Yeah.
You know how many kitchen tables I sit at with young people that struggle to make the purebred Angusburg business work as a business?
Yeah.
To see that money travel is joyful.
Yeah.
It changes lives.
Yeah.
I'm going to fight for that.
That's awesome.
Because I know, being on the meat side too, with our Bid on Beef company, I know what the retail side of beef is.
Yeah.
And I know where it's going over the next 10 years. It's going to cure the country.
That's cool.
Beef is.
I love that.
And I think that having that at your hands as somebody that has dedicated your life to it, or a young person that wants to get into it, this thing's turned into a business. It's turned into money.
I like that.
Guess what, Scott? It needs to stay there.
Agreed.
Some of the mistakes that we've made over the last 10, 20, 30 years, I think, as it relates to who we listen to, as it relates to where we get our advice, I would do this. I would find the person that has survived, that has run commercial cows, and I'd go have lunch with them. I'd go have lunch with them, right? And learn what got them there. How were they able to survive this, right? And then I'd go find some of these established purebred programs that have had sales for years, where your product has to go out and make somebody else a living, where it has to go perform. I'd go have lunch with them.
Yeah.
That's what I do, and learn what it takes to have longevity and all the things that it takes in this business, to do those things. And I think that's one thing that I think should happen. So back to your question, from a genetic side.
Yes. Yes.
I have never, and I mean never, seen a discrepancy between a bull that's categorized as a heifer bull or a growth bull on paper. The difference in what they were willing to pay, I would say, was $4,000.
Whoa.
It was big. Whoa. It was huge.
Wow.
And I'm not saying you got to have them all, heifer bulls. It's not possible if you're trying to. I don't think it's possible unless if you're trying to maintain the cow herd that you want.
Sure.
But the discrepancy from the auction block, from the guys that were willing to pay for a bull that red cavities compared to growth, was huge.
Yeah.
It was huge. Okay. And I think I think it's a direct pressure from the lack of labor.
Absolutely.
In our business.
Absolutely.
Look, when you have one problem on your cow, when you're calving, it feels like 30 problems.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if they're slick and popping out, and the calf's getting up and sucking and it's cold out, you're giving the credit to your bulls and the people you bought them from.
Yeah.
So I think from a genetic standpoint, that was no question. And even, I got a ranch in New Mexico. We do a lot of herds in the middle of nowhere. The amount of breeders, commercial breeders, that had questions about data is amazing.
That's cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah, they're learning.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, you have to be able to, be able to answer them.
Yeah.
Some of the data I believe in, some of the data I do. Some of the data I don't, some I do. I was honest with them. I told them that,
I
right?
like that.
So I think that, people are becoming, the access to information, never been better.
Yeah.
Never been better.
For sure.
So they're going to come with questions to you. So, I'd say the bull heifer thing, the heifer bull compared to growth bull thing.
Okay.
It was stark.
Really?
It was stark.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting to know. I mean, that's something these guys should all, to listen to and hear, I hope. So, absolutely. So is there a genetic line that you really forced its way through this year? Is there any kind of, breeding that was really like, wow, here it is?
I don't know that there was a genetic line as there is. I don't really think of the business like that.
Good.
But what I think of the business as, was there breeders that had selection pressures that worked?
There you go.
And that's what I saw.
Okay, cool.
I saw the guys, if you can systematically put 120 bulls in front of people, or 300 bulls in front of people, or 60 bulls that have a similar selection pressure, and they met other specs, say they met the specs on paper, say they were 70% cavities, 30% growth, say they had some under the hide merit, say you started clipping off a lot of the spots that people could talk themselves out of buying the bull.
Yeah.
That's where guys really performed well.
Okay, cool.
I thought those guys really, because look, I tell people all the time, you know, when you go to the market, why not try and gather in 90% of the buyers rather than just 30% of them? Right?
Smart. Yeah.
And that is,
Smart.
and because I got a good friend of mine that tells me I'd kind of like to make a living in this business.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So
right.
anytime you go to get paid,
Yeah.
you know what? You want to try and meet the market. Now, the balance is, the challenging part of our way of life is, how do you also maintain a cow herd that you're excited about and also approach the market with a product you're excited about?
Right.
You have to find that balance, and I think that's where the good guys, the guys that are really working hard at this business, have been able to find that balance. And when you can control a buyer and a contending bidder, and you can get them to chase a animal high because they want it, that's where a guy needs to be.
Yeah, that's
so,
a fun
and
place. That's a fun place.
And
to
I
be,
saw
too.
a lot of that happen this year. A lot of that.
It was really competitive. That's
very competitive.
It seems like this year, you know, even on the commercial side, those guys got really competitive with the seed stock guys.
No question.
On the sales I was at, like there's some seed stock guys that had to, you know, pony up to get some of those bulls that the commercial guys were after this year.
Well, and I think it's a great point, because I think a lot of these really progressive commercial guys that have seen it, they see it across the broad spectrum. They see good bulls, how they work across 300 head.
Yes.
So they see it. A lot of purebred guys don't see it. They read it.
Yep.
They might see a picture of it.
Yep.
But a lot of them don't run enough cattle to really to see it, right?
That's a fact.
So
Yes.
a commercial guy has all this in front of him.
Yes.
You know what? And I just think a lot of guys that do that, and these are the guys that are quiet. These are the guys that don't say anything. But man, when they come before the sale and when you see him leave after, you're looking at that guy going, wow, that guy knows what he's doing.
He got it done today.
He got it done today.
Those are fun guys to be part of.
100%.
And to know and to watch what they do.
The other thing that I think we saw, besides genetically, from a functionality standpoint, from the performance of the sale, Scott, was we had dozens, maybe hundreds of buyers this year that they didn't contact the owner, they didn't contact the sale management, but they bought online.
Yeah, huge.
I mean, we had numerous times, nobody's talked to the people. These guys would buy 8 to 12 bulls.
Holy smokes.
Right? Comfortable doing it. They like the,
Wow.
They get comfortable with the name. They get comfortable with the breeding. They're comfortable with the video. The presentation was good. It's a professional setting. All these things line up, and it's allocation of time. A lot of these guys talk themselves out of, I can do this from home.
Yeah.
I can do this. I got something else to do. I'm going to buy bulls today, but I'm going to go also, calve my own cows.
Yeah.
Right? So we saw a ton of that, which is so cool for the people.
It is cool.
It's so cool for the people that are selling, because there's that inner part of you that says, I'm doing some right stuff because these guys are comfortable enough to buy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So the online thing has changed again. We were talking about that earlier today, just like 20, 30 years ago when they started it, how we were like, oh, this is terrible. And now it's like, I mean, you have to have it.
100%.
Like, it has to be part of your sale.
Has to.
Yeah.
Has to.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. Now, like, phenotype-wise, did you see anything change this year? Our guys, I mean, everybody, because I got to ask, because you've been to so many, like, big bulls, small bulls, is the phenotype different from your sales across the country this year? Are guys picking out anything different? Is something standing out just phenotype-wise?
So I'm fairly old school on that. I'm kind of business 101 on phenotype.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, we are a visual business.
Yep.
And no doubt there's guys that make selections on data, on paper.
Sure.
And I see that, and that's their prerogative to do so. Chris Earl and CK6 Consulting's never really been that way.
Cool.
So a lot of the people that I do sales for, I'm very much a muscle guy, because I think that's where a commercial guy.
Absolutely.
I mean, most commercial guys that I know move from tail to nose.
That's right.
They don't move from nose to tail.
That's right.
And what I've seen is if you can make that tail to nose wedge made, thick, athletic, good-footed, my number one question, how's the feet, right? If you can accomplish all those things, you have aligned yourself on numerous buyers that, us not knowing the wherewithal of what they're going to do, you've created a competitive situation.
Yeah.
So I think guys that don't have that, frankly, it's a short-lived business unless you have a model built behind it.
Yeah.
So if you're out in the middle part of the country, especially if you're in the north, if you're wherever, if you don't have that back end, that quarter,
Yes.
you know, with testicles swinging between them,
Yep.
you're probably going to struggle.
Yeah.
You know, so not that it can't be built, not that you can't do a brand the way it is.
Yeah,
I'm not talking 100 percentiles here, but those are the characteristics of the great bull sales that I see are bulls that are recognizable. They're not necessarily the heaviest boned. They're not the biggest head, but they've got a quarter on them, and they look like they represent a data set that they can be comfortable with. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
I got to ask, what are some highlights this year for you from the bull sale season? Like some of the highlights, bulls that sold, you know, something you're really looking forward to seeing how they go forward as breeding bulls.
Well, I'll start just from, you know, because my genetic thing is varied, but since we are at Musgraves,
Yeah.
I love activity, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, the sale we have for them in March, it's just always, it brings me back to Illinois, which I'm Illinois born and bred.
Very cool.
And I've known the Musgraves program forever.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, when you go there, the pens are the same.
Yes.
Still the same pens.
Yeah, it's cool.
Right?
Yeah.
And there is a horde of people.
Yeah.
Which is,
it's awesome.
You know, we had great attendance this year, but we never have an attendance like we do at Musgrave Angus.
Cool.
It's a horde of people, a lot of activity. I think there was 500-600 people online.
Wow.
Huge number,
Oh my
right?
gosh.
So you combine what's in there and what's there. You know, it's definitely for me. It gets I'm a competitive guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I like crowds,
Old
so
football player,
I get when it's game day. That's what I call sale day. Is game day.
Absolutely.
And you've got, you know, 500, 600 people milling around or whatever, and you got 5 or 6 people, I get excited,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So, you know, one comment that, you know, as we go through, one of my favorite bulls that sold this year was Spring Cove Arthur.
Yeah.
Here's what I've told people. It's an interesting thing. You know, I was involved selling a lot of high dollar bulls, and I see a lot of bulls, and I'm also, because I'm a consultant, I'm on the follow up. You know, the production. How are you going to market them? What are we going to do?
Yes, that's why it's
Arguably, he was probably one of the thinnest bulls I've sold this year.
Really?
He sold.
Really?
He was in great shape. I thought he was
Okay.
in great shape, but probably one of the
Okay.
thinnest bulls. He's the
Okay.
best semen making bull. Best semen making bull.
Interesting.
I think it's something to really think about as I watch people go forward, and I watch the fruition of sales after, and how some of these young bulls are really starting to struggle making semen out of the gate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think management early of cattle as you go to the sale, I would just watch it.
Okay.
I just watch it. But it's just, he was one of my I mean, I think he's one of the great prospects of the business right now. But I always like to tell people that he was also he wasn't under conditioned. I thought he was perfectly conditioned for a guy from New Mexico.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's
but
a fact,
but
yeah.
he's also been a tremendous
semen producer.
producer. So, you know, I think that bull.
And what was Arthur? What was he?
So he's a Grant.
Grant.
Yeah,
That's right.
he's a Grant son, and I think, you know, and for me, he, you know, and we gave Grant a go too. We got beat on buying Grant, but I think he's just a whole nother version of those genetics that I think is exciting going forward. You know, we always start the season right out of the gate with Baldridges and you know, kind of, and then Freddie Lynn's, and I think Fred's just done. I like the combination of I think Fred's got the best steak in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then to be able to work with him on his bull thing, and I like the way they raise their bulls. I like the way he runs his ranch. I like the way these cattle go out. I like the way they perform. And I think it's just so cool to be part of an operation that is also the best in the world at the end of the process.
Absolutely.
So that's always exciting for me. And then Judd and I are close friends at Baldridge's. But I'll tell you what, that sale, I think, serves as a beacon to a lot of the industry on what bulls are worth.
Yes.
What should I pay, right?
agree,
Everyone's like, what's a bull worth?
It
kind of kicks it off. And I think it's because it's in the heart of the world for the competitiveness of genetics.
Absolutely.
And that thing is always great. It's always huge. And I always tell people one of the great things about that sale is, I think I've been with them 12 or 13 years. Wow. I swear I see the same people writing checks at the end of the sale that have bought bulls there for 12 or 13 years.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not talking like 2 bulls.
Yeah,
I'm talking like 15 to 30 bulls.
Yeah, isn't that
so,
crazy?
you know, so that's fun, you know, and as I just go through it, Edgar's, you know, I think you know, I don't want to mean, there's so many sales we did, but just some of the things that popped in my mind.
That's all I want.
One thing that stood out about Edgar's was I think we got to bull 162 before we sold a bull under 10,000.
Whoa.
And we didn't have an extreme high top. I mean, that's when I really start feeling like this season's different.
Yes.
I really felt like this season was different. And I thought it was one of the really, as I look back, I thought it was one of the great sales of the year. Obviously the family there, hard working, center cut of the cattle business. But when I saw we got to bull 160 before we sold one under 10, I knew this season would be different. Ooh. The other one, like Pineview Angus.
Yeah, they got some cool stuff going.
Dude, they're Eastern Iowa.
Yeah. And
John's my longest client.
Okay.
And we're great friends, and we own a lot of cattle together, and we do a lot of things together. But they told us this couldn't be done 20 years ago.
Oh, for sure.
Eastern Iowa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
They would tell you. They tell you again today, too.
Right, and they'll tell that's right. They'll tell you that. They'll tell you that same thing.
Absolutely.
And so it's still amazing to me that we're selling $10,000 to $11,000 bulls in Eastern Iowa.
Absolutely, that's amazing.
And we're talking like 130, 140 of them.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
It is. I mean, it's amazing. Every time I go there, it's usually cold. It's usually cold. But I'll tell you what, the barn is always hot.
Yeah.
The barn's always hot.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it was cool.
Yeah, that's
neat. That's cool.
That's neat. We got any other highlights like on the bulls that you really saw? I mean, we talked about Arthur, but that you saw sell that you were really excited about coming through?
Well, I mean, I think there's some bulls from programs that I think like Hankies.
Yes, right.
Here's a program I think between there's a lot of stuff going on in Missouri right now. I love the competitive nature of Missouri.
Yeah.
One of the great things I like about Missouri is they're friendly to each other. Mm-hmm. But they're competitive, which is the way it should be, right?
Absolutely.
Which is the way it should be. So you look at what Charles has done at Hinkie's, great selection pressure on feet, and he's still there, and the cattle are still big.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that still like big cattle, right?
Yes,
and you make them good. You make them good-footed. But then I thought Galaxy Beef took a whole nother step this year.
Boy, they did.
And really, I mean, as you look across the business, that Galaxy Showdown bull that we have in our CK6 source deal, he's kicking up a lot of steam. I don't think anybody probably works the paper side and then making the calls, making the trips to go see the cattle, making that combination of phenotype, muscle, and data more than Galaxy. So I think those two programs, huge deal. Yeah, so if we go, so Scott, you asked me about, I'm going to get myself in trouble, which is what I do.
Right.
So I'm going to try it. But I thought there was I thought we had a number of sales this year that were breakthrough sales.
Yeah, I like that.
You know what I mean? So sales, you've been working with these people, and like it or not in this business, this business will make sure you take a kicking.
For sure.
Before you get rewarded.
Yes.
And we've got a lot of clients that have taken some kickings.
Absolutely.
And we pride ourselves that we're there with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Let Chris Earl take the kicking too.
Absolutely.
And that's the way it should be, right? Sure. I mean, we're a results oriented company, and these people take your advice on a lot of stuff or part of the stuff, and you want to see that the fruition's there. So like Tanya Hua, I just thought you go through Tanya Hua, great gal. Just right out there on the flats of Colorado, tough country, has stayed with it. Breakthrough sale this year.
Awesome.
J.D. Amdahl, him and his wife Annie. She's pregnant with their fifth, right?
No
I mean,
way.
There's just unbelievable people. Him and Annie have got this venture themselves now. It's just those two.
That's a lot.
This kid is so hard work. I shouldn't even call him a kid, for God's sake. He's going to be a father of five. But he feels like one of my kids.
A man's job right
he feels
there.
like one of my kids. So, but I mean, what they're going on up there, breakthrough sale.
Awesome.
It was awesome. And I think a lot of people in awareness go into it. You look at Kenny Angus. I've been with Kenny and Drew and Brian. We've had some great individual sales, but never really thought we had that point where we got to that sale and like the commercial guy came and gave him the credit until this year.
Yeah.
And then because the purebred thing, they've done a great job. They've sold bulls to ABS. We've sold we sold a bull for $135,000,
Yes.
So I mean, but some of those sales were just breakthrough sales. You go to Mudge Farms. We had up north, the young program, I think we had an $8,800 bull sale in Illinois.
Whoa.
This isn't Musgrave, for God's sakes, but it was it's just some, two brothers and a friend up there starting in northwest, Illinois. And I thought, right. So you go to Panther Creek, my great friends, my goodness. I've never wanted a sale so bad than I wanted for Mike McClellan at Panther Creek. We sold a high cow.
He had, sorry to mess up that, but he had the greatest opening speech of anybody I think it is. Year too.
You mentioned God in your opening speech. You mentioned God and your mother in your opening speech. You're probably going to get me.
Yeah.
and I thought it was, and I think so a number of these programs, as you look through and you think, it kind of. Your chest kind of opens.
Yeah, I did.
You can breathe again.
Yes, it's awesome.
And I think you get that recognition. It makes you want to fight harder. I got this good friend of mine, Steph, up at Diamond J. One of the hardest in tough part of the country, right? Mandan, North Dakota.
Come on.
And she's a ramrod, and she's doing all this. And I thought, it wasn't our highest grossing or our highest averaging sale,
right?
But you could feel these bulls went across the country, Texas and everything. You could feel people start to get an appreciation for her effort and her cattle.
That's awesome.
I thought that was, awesome. And I don't want to keep. There's just so many sales.
I know. But
you got me going through the season.
I know, but that's really what we wanted to do. And the Welter brother Angus. We talked about them on the Musgrave podcast a little bit, but I thought that was crazy for their first bull sale.
Yeah,
insanity.
It was great. And I forgot. You mentioned one of the breakthroughs. The Zumbrunans.
Oh man, and great people.
I tell people all the time. There's very few programs, because I hear it all.
Yeah.
And this is including myself, Scott.
Yes.
There's very few people that I don't hear just, disparaging words against.
Sure.
That's including me.
Yeah,
I hear a lot of, right.
Me too. Yeah, I hear it too.
The Zumbrunans?
Yeah.
You never heard a disparaging word. These are fantastic people. There's this picture that we got at the sale, and as the sale was going on, somebody from behind Jason and his wife, Shirley, they got a picture of them holding hands as we were still selling cattle.
Yeah,
right.
That's awesome.
And you could just tell that this was a big day. This was a big day in their effort. This was an engineer now that came back to the ranch.
Yeah.
They had a life kind of pegged in kind of suburbia, right? And this was that wasn't enough for Jason Zumbrunnan. And he had a wife come and do it with him, and they've raised fantastic kids on it. Now the kids want to come back to the ranch, so we got to grow this thing and keep getting bigger and better, and that's what we're going to do. And then we get to Welters, a newer client over the last year, known them forever. Great brothers, respectful brothers. We mentioned it in the podcast today with, and they just decided, they came to us this year and said, we want to be a client. We want you guys to do our first sale. And dates were tight.
Yeah.
So to try and find a date that worked was like May 18th.
Yeah.
And here we are with an inaugural sale.
On May 18th.
Eastern Iowa on May 18th.
That's a tough day.
And we had a burner.
I know.
And we had a burner.
It was crazy.
And so, those kind of things I know genetics are important. I'm a genetic junkie. I love them, right?
Yes,
You've asked me questions about genetics.
Yes.
I don't mean to deflect you.
No, I love it.
On the thing.
Good.
But what really gets me fired up is the people part of this thing.
For sure.
And
it's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
And
like
doing the podcast.
Right. And then
awesome.
my hope is how do I help these people in a genetic professional business that ensures their personal life.
Yeah.
And so I'm addicted to that.
Yeah.
I just love that part of the business.
Yeah.
And I just love helping people be successful, because at the end of the day, I know great people will do great things with their success.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So what do you see the Angus business going forward? What are we seeing? What are you seeing over the past year and going into this next season, going into the fall, and then going into the spring bull sale season? What are you looking forward? What do you think is going to happen this coming season?
So I often like to look at the business from the buyer in.
Okay.
Right. So I get in behind them. Right.
Yes.
They're paying a lot of money for cattle. They're paying a lot of money for bulls. They're paying a lot of money for females. What is going to be their expectation of doing that?
Yes.
So service is huge.
Yeah.
You cannot not have communication with these people.
Yeah.
They have bought into you at a high level.
Yeah.
And they're going to have an expectation of that.
Yeah.
That will come. If you want to hold them, that will come. So I think you, from a breeder standpoint, you have to continually think of ways to add value. I think the best way to add value is genetics.
Yep.
I think the best way to add value is positioning them to get as many premiums and as many people interested in their product as possible. That might mean you have to do some things out of your comfort level on how you want to raise cattle.
For sure.
Right? I mean, because at the end of the day, there's nothing more than Chris Earl would like to go smoke a cigar and drink a sweet tea and drive through cows that I like.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe somebody else doesn't like them. Maybe
That's
the
right.
market doesn't like them.
Yeah.
So I think as the market challenges you to get paid for your product, and you like getting paid for your product, there's always that thing where everybody, if you sell feeder cattle, embryos, fat cattle, everybody has to meet the market.
Yeah.
The goal is, I think, can you be passionate about the product that you're raising in order to meet the market? If you can't, then you better have 20, 30 years to establish your market. You better have a lot of wherewithal.
Yeah.
And there's guys that have done it. But I think the access to information 30 years ago is not what it is today.
Oh, not even close.
So the turn,
not even
the turn is a lot quicker. And I think I always look at the market as a bell curve.
Yeah.
So to get paid a lot of times and to get premiums for what you do, your life's work, you kind of have to live on the front end of the bell curve.
Yeah.
Not low risk decisions are made on the back of the bell curve.
Right.
However, the buying public a lot of times likes to live on the front of the bell curve.
Absolutely, they do.
So there's that whole
1000%.
Marketing balance, genetic balance that every program has to weigh. Every program I think has to work good on. Every program, I always get people, this is an apples and oranges business. Every program is different.
Absolutely.
And I don't give any advice for any of my clients to be a follower of any program.
Yeah, I love that.
I give advice to my clients to start building your own brand.
I love that.
And that's what we try and do.
That's an amazing quote there for sure.
Yeah.
I can't agree more with that. I like when a program defines who they are.
Yeah.
And goes with
that.
that.
The question is, can you survive, frankly, 10 years?
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed is the goal, right?
Yeah, it's tough.
Notice on a seed stock program, because this business will kick you.
Yep.
You have to maintain cash flow. You have to maintain a lot of things that make your business thing. Can you get past that mark? The average age of an Angus herd, 7 years.
Yep.
That's where a lot of people decide, I'm going to go find something else to do.
Yep, absolutely.
Right? And then can you survive that to the thing to get to where people start recognizing your brand and only look at your program because they trust your brand?
Yeah.
Now they start diversifying out on certain cattle, certain females, that kind of thing. So, that takes some wherewithal, takes grit.
Where do you think
takes grit.
Where do you think the Angus breed is right now, as far as you go? Like, are you satisfied with what they're doing, the Angus breed itself? Or do you think there's a whole lot of improvement that needs done?
So one thing I think a lot of people don't know about me or understand about me on how I approach the business is I'm ultra competitive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think of the business as a breed.
Yeah.
I think of the clients.
I like that.
I think of the clients.
Okay, I like that.
I want my clients. I'm not going to, I got great friends. But I am employed to position my clients to win.
I like this.
Right?
Yeah.
So if the breed wants to go this way, if these guys want to go this way, God bless you. Go do it. I think you're creating me a hole. I think you're creating me space.
I love that.
And I'm a capitalist, right?
Love it.
I'm a capitalist. I believe that the dynamic of the business needs that. The worst thing we can all do is look at this business as a whole for me, because then it becomes similar, then it becomes aligned, then it becomes purchasable.
Yeah.
I like the fact that different people have different views and go do what they want to do, however that looks. Some people call some of these guys paper breeders. Some of these guys call these guys maternal guys, cow guys. Whatever it is, I think you go do it. Chris Earl has a view that wins, that I think wins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to share it and help the people that employ me to do that.
I love it.
And whatever holes I think I can fill, take, whatever, that's what we're going to do.
I love it.
Yeah. So, I don't look at an industry. I look at entrepreneurs.
I love that.
I look at entrepreneurs that are looking to win.
Dude, that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
I really think that's a great way to look at it.
I don't have any obligation to a breed of cattle. I've got an obligation to my family, God, souls, people that employ me, and just so happens I've never advertised my business. I am employed by the combination of great people and people that I can help, that I think I can help genetically, and I think in all that I accomplish God's will. And that's as simple as I get it, as it gets, you know. So
that's cool.
It's been fun to do. I feel honored to do it. Our business is growing. You know, I just feel terrible. I've got to, you know, kind of probably getting into this thing, but I haven't mentioned my team. I mean, my team is unbelievable.
They're great.
I mean,
yeah.
I've got a very professional staff. They allow this stuttering cowboy just to be a stuttering cowboy and go do what I do, because I got some real pros that work with me and help me and guide me and keep me on the straight and narrow and do the things that I think hopefully the good Lord made me good at. And because I've got an amazing team that just is all part of CK6, and they're the dominant part of CK6 Consulting. I'm just a guy on the road, you know. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been cool to see what you've been able to do with CK6, and then off of that too with the Bit on Beef brand.
Yeah.
And everything going on there. Tell everybody a little bit about that, because that's something that I would like to know more about. I've touched on it with you in other visits that I've had here at Musgraves when you're here, but that's something pretty, I think, revolutionary.
Well, thank you. I here, and it kind of goes along my mind of thinking that I just talked to you about the competitive side. I've never understood commodity pricing. I've never understood your life's work, your financial risk, and then at the end of the process, it's a race to the bottom for price.
Oh, I hate that too.
I've never understood it.
Me either.
Right? I mean, what other business does, whatever business does.
I was a terrible farmer. Yeah. I couldn't stand it.
I still am.
Yeah, I couldn't stand it.
I still am.
That.
Because I want to be able to distinguish myself differently. I want my clients to be able to like we've done some things marketing. We just did a thing on this, on this bull called algorithm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And the premise is really, it's business 101, is really to have something that we think could possibly be elite that is limited.
Yeah.
No different on Bit on Beef.
Yep.
I don't want the marketplace to be able to shop around and see how low I can pay for something. I can't win in that race.
I like that.
Walmart's going to win in that race.
Absolutely.
Costco's going to win in that race. Guy with 1,000 cows or 2,000 cows are going to win in that race.
That's right.
I need to win in the race where I've got something that somebody wants, desires, looks at their own books. Like people always get like, well, what about fat cattle? You know, they're always like, well, it's commodity price and all this. There's not one person that buys fat cattle that doesn't wake up in the morning and see what JBS is bidding that day.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I don't want that premise. How about we look at our own books? Like when I go buy a female, or a bull, I'm not looking to see what my competitor can pay for the bull. I'm looking at my own books.
What
can I afford to buy that bull?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's where I want people to get with beef.
I love that.
Right? Well, if I want 12 ribeyes in one lot, I've got 4 family friends coming next week. I need good beef.
Yeah.
I've got the wherewithal to own it.
Yeah.
I don't need to go and say, how cheap can I find it?
Nope.
I just want to buy the best.
I want the good stuff.
That's the American virtue that I always thought we had.
I thought so too.
I just want the best.
I always thought we always wanted the best.
Right? I got the thing, really, it's Pappy Van Winkle.
Yeah.
They only do so much, right?
Smart.
They only brew so much.
Yep.
They only allow it at this time.
Yep.
And you know what? There's more people that want it than there is bourbon.
I want it. I've never had it yet. So if you got a ball, do you want to share?
What's that?
Yeah.
So I just, you know, I've never understood that about agriculture.
Me either.
The race to the bottom.
I hate it.
I don't want to be involved in the race to the bottom.
I cannot agree more.
Yeah. So Bit on Beef is that concept. It's that concept of here's your one-time and moment. Here's when it's going to be, you know, auction. I don't even run a sale report. I know. Yeah. I don't want people to know what it brought last week.
That's cool.
I just want you to come to the thing live, know your own books, know what you want to afford.
Know what you want to
spend. You know
what?
We've sold it under what people think it's worth. We sold it higher.
Yeah.
But that's not on me. My friend and one of the owners, Aaron Duvall, always says it. He says, "I'll tell you what. I'll take care of the quality. You take care of the price."
That's awesome.
That's what he tells the customer.
It's a great partnership.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
So it's been big. I love being involved from a consulting standpoint in the end product. I love being able to have that knowledge base that allows me to give advice even towards the end.
Yeah.
So it just kind of rounds out everything that I ever want to do in life, you know, on cattle.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So
awesome. Yeah. So You got a bunch of sales coming up this year. Obviously, August 29th here at Musgraves, but then I'm sure you got a full schedule in the fall.
Yeah, we're right back to. We got 3 weekends in a row. Great sales. We got this sale here on the 29th. We got Rhodes Ranch in California. Tremendous set of bulls and a really short set of top end females. And then we got our ally sale the next weekend at Edgar's.
Okay,
so
awesome.
So yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I got to get to Edgar's.
3 weeks.
I've never been to Edgar's.
Yeah, you'd
it's not
like
that far away from me. I gotta
Good
get up
dudes,
there.
man. Really good family.
Oh,
yeah.
I follow them on Snapchat.
Oh, yeah.
Their boy plays the guitar and sings.
Oh
man.
yeah, we're gonna have some built-in entertainment for the allies. Oh yeah,
I love that.
Oh,
That's awesome, dude.
We're excited about it.
Yeah, you can play it on stage with Ian Munsick, which is insane. I mean, yeah,
that was a good video.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah,
very cool family, man. I follow them everywhere. So
that was great.
Chris, really appreciate it today, man.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna try to get Chris more often during sales season, guys. I don't know if he'll agree to it or not, but I'm gonna try to get him on a few of these and have some fun. So
that'd be great.
Stay tuned. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody that listens and watches Herd Report. Till next time, have a great rest of your day.